I'm going to try a new thing today. I'm going to have a read aloud, and I'm going to be reading from this book, 50 Minerals That Changed the Course of History. So my name is Mr. Bowden, and I'm glad you're here. 50 Minerals That Changed the Course of History is going to be a book that goes through a lot of the history and applications of the things that are around us. So this is not just a video for mineralogists. It is not just for students who are in earth science, but it is for any student who is learning about the earth and space sciences, which is any high school student past biology. So I hope that you enjoy this. The book is written by Chaline, and we're going to start with the introduction. Now, from time to time, I will hold up the book like this in order to show the images on the page. And I am no professional, so do not expect a professional presentation. But I do hope that you enjoy the stories, and hope that you can pay attention and learn a few things. Introduction. Quote by Charles Lindbergh, who lived from 1902 to 1974. He was the man who was the first to fly solo over the Atlantic Ocean from America to Europe. And he said, "How long can men thrive between walls of brick, walking on asphalt pavements, breathing the fumes of coal and of oil, growing, working, dying, with hardly a thought of wind and sky and fields of grain, seeing only machine-made beauty, the mineral-like quality of life?" How long? Now, a long time ago, people used to ask the question, to start out 20 questions, is it animal, vegetable, or mineral? And that was one of 3 categories for stuff. And it was a good beginning. It's either alive or not. If it's not, it's mineral. If it's alive, it's either able to move on its own or it isn't. And so if it is able to move on its own, it's animated with an anime. It's with a soul that can move, and it's an animal. If it can't, then it only has a vegetable soul, and it can only grow and live until it's dead. But the more that you are able to learn about things, the more you can divide and discern between different topics, then the more you can see that we can actually have many categories. That was my aside after the Lindbergh quote. Now back to the book. The history of human civilization can be told in different ways. So far in this series, it has been told with plants, in the book 50 Plants That Changed the Course of History, and animals, 50 Animals That Changed the Course of History. And in this 3rd volume, we focus on minerals. Minerals, in the broadest sense of the term, encompass a huge variety of natural and man-made materials, including metals and alloys, rocks, crystals, gemstones, organic materials, salts, and ores. Now we'll begin a section called The Rise of Man. The history of how and when our hominid ancestors became human is still a matter of debate among anthropologists and archaeologists. The capacities that were once thought to differentiate humans from the quote-unquote lower animals, language, social organization, emotions, tool use and manufacture, symbolic reasoning, and self-consciousness, have been shown to be present in other species, such as birds, cetaceans, which are whales basically, and apes. However, no other species has developed these capacities to the same extent as humans, to transform the natural environment and effectively remove itself from the processes of evolution. Humanity's transformation of the environment began with the domestication of plants and animals. But as civilization moved from subsistence farming to urban living, the manufacture of goods and trade, the emphasis shifted to minerals, stone for building. metals for tools and weapons, and later machinery, hydrocarbons for energy, earths, ores, and salts for industry, and precious and semi-precious stones and metals for currency and adornment. Anthropologists believe that morphological and behavioral changes triggered the process that turned our ape-like ancestors into modern humans. So as an aside, I'll just say, so what the book is saying so far is that our behavior changed our identity. That's what the anthropologists say. While it is impossible to reconstruct how our pre-human ancestors thought, felt, or related to one another, we have practical evidence of their level of development from their tools, at least those made from durable materials such as stone, the earliest of which are estimated to be around 2.6 million years old. Again, as an aside, those would be the hominid ancestors, not the humans. Homo sapiens as a species seems to only be a couple 100,000 years old. Back to the book. It is possible that humanity's relationship with tools goes even further back, but it may be that these earlier tools were found rather than fashioned objects. Found objects like what chimpanzees use today. But once our ancestors started fashioning tools, they radically transformed their relationship with the natural world. Next section, the age of metals. For most of the past 2.6 million years, the human tool set consisted of ever more sophisticated tools, made principally of wood, bone, flint, which is a kind of stone, and obsidian, which is another kind of stone. In around 10,000 years before present, or 8,000 years BC, because we're in the year 2020, during what is called the Neolithic Revolution, the revolution for the new Stone Age, humans established permanent settlements, and agricultural and animal husbandry replaced hunter-gathering as the main human lifestyle, at least in places. Hunter-gathering actually still continues to the present in some jungles around the world, but for the most part, the rest of the world has become pretty well settled. Back to the book. Central to these developments was the technological revolution that affected every area of daily life. The Stone Age made way for the Age of Metals, copper, bronze, and iron, in that order, each one harder than the one before. The precious metals, gold and silver, have modern industrial applications, but their main historical uses have been as currency, which means money, and jewelry, and lay in religious ornamentation, when they were combined with gems such as diamonds, amber, coral, jade, and pearls. For all their technological sophistication, humans still depend for their energy needs on coal, the mineral fuel that powered the first industrial revolution, which was back in the 1700s, and also petroleum, the power source of the second industrial revolution, which was in the late 1800s. And now, those two power sources are supplemented by the nuclear fuels, uranium and plutonium. Industrial processes from antiquity to the present day have made use of a wide range of metals, ores, alloys, and salts, including alum, aluminum, asphalt, arsenic, sodium, mercury, and steel. So again, all those materials are either used by or used to make other things, but they go way back. And that is the end of the introduction and the end of this first video, this first read aloud. I know it's not quite the same as me being in the room with you, but I hope that for those of you who have no other option but to listen at a distance, I hope that this is a good experience for you and is one that can open up your eyes to just a lot of things out there. I'll be going through these videos from time to time, and I hope that you are able to comment and you're able to, um, if not comment here, then at least comment on Google Classroom, and let me know what you think. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now and get started on the next mineral, which is actually the first mineral, diamond.